Your neighborhood just got cooler with Kroger Delivery's refrigerated trucks. Simply order groceries at the same great prices online as in-store, and we'll bring them to you fresh every time. And if that wasn't cool enough, you can now earn 4 times the fuel points after 4 with your digital coupon. Choose a next-day Kroger delivery time slot for 4 p.m. or later on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Must deliver by February 4th. Restrictions apply. See Kroger.com for details.
What you're hearing is Hardie Fiber Cement Siding living up to its reputation as the siding that helps resist weather damage, no matter what Mother Nature throws its way. James Hardie knows how important a reputation is, especially when you're a home builder. That's why Hardie products withstand the elements better than wood-based siding, with styles to match their strength. Because when home builders work with us, we deliver our best so they can look their best. Protect your reputation with exterior products by James Hardie.
Hello, everyone. This is me, Jonathan Alexander, and I'm here to host our show, Life, Laughter, Happiness. Today, I have my co-host, Barbie, with me. Are you there, Barbara?
Yes, I am, and I am very happy to be here tonight because we have a special guest. And you know what, Johnny? You're getting to know her quite well, so why don't you do the honors and introduce her tonight?
Her name is Sandra Costa, and now I'm trying to see if I remember this right. Didn't you say that she was the godmother of Priscilla?
Yes, but most importantly, do you go by Lady Sandra Costa or Dame Sandra Costa?
Well, actually, hello, everybody. Hello, Barbara. Hello, both of you. Lovely to be on the show. By the way, I love the show, guys. You've had some wonderful people on, so this is really a pleasure to spend this time with you. So that you know, Lady is actually the real terminology behind it is Dame. Dame. That's the real terminology. Typically, when you say somebody's a lady, it's for the British side of it, it's Dame. Here in the United States, because it's not quite as renowned as what it is overseas for these titles, I go by either Lady Sandra or Dame Sandra or just Sandra. And if you're a really good friend of mine, you can call me Sandy.
Oh, and Sandy's such the cutest name. Sandy was my character, my lifeguard on Baywatch nights was named Sandy. And I always love that name, Sandy, too. It's so beachy, but you're from New Zealand. And
I'm from New Zealand.
Which gives you that wonderful accent and adds to your regal flair, which you do have.
Barbara, may I tell you that in my whole time I've been here, since I'm 17 years old, I traveled here alone, came up here, told my mother I was going on a 2-week holiday, and I never went back. It just killed her. I went back on holidays, but I made the United States my home then. And I'll tell you that my entire time that I've been here, my accent really hasn't changed. It's the same accent as when I arrived. And I think that's because it's not a day goes by. Within the day, 2 or 3 people during the day will go, where are you from? So what it does, it reminds me all the time of New Zealand. So my accent, I'm from New Zealand. So my accent for all these years has remained. And and it is a nice accent. Thank you very much. I like it myself.
Yes, and it's inviting, and it's such a conversational piece, but people love it to where, you're being greeted with this positivity. So why would you mentally change something so positive? I love it. And you know who else loved it is Hugh Hefner. We have a lot in common, you and I. We became friends just as running into each other for a completely different reason and finding out that we have so much in common, like our work with Playboy. So tell us a little bit about that exciting part of your life of being such an exclusive Playboy bunny and one of Hugh Hefner's favorites.
Thank you, darling. Many, many years ago when I was sitting in the Playboy Club, and we used to have a room for the bunnies to get changed in, and we'd store our costumes there, and we'd take a break. And I was sitting in the bunny room, and I was looking through the Playboy magazine, and I saw the most amazing architecture. Of course, there were beautiful girls, and many of them were my friends, including you too, Barbara, but this is long before you were there. But I was looking at all the architecture, looking at the Los Angeles, there's that Dome restaurant out at the LA airport that was designed by Paul Williams, the first African-American architect who
I
had,
love that place.
oh yes, and his work was incredible, and Hefner loved him and loved the work, and I'm looking at it, and I was like, all of a sudden, I had this vision, and a couple of nights later, Hefner came in with Barbie Benton, who was his girlfriend at that time, and I said to him, I asked him, why was there so much architecture? And he used to call me, Barbara, he used to call me Bunny Business, because I was from New Zealand, and I had this accent, and I used to, all the people who were coming in would always ask for the girl from New Zealand, because here we go back to the accent, because people loved the way I spoke. But I said to Hugh, I said, you know, one day when I leave Playboy, I want to go into another male-dominated business. And he said, what would that be, Bunny Business? I said, I want to study architecture, and I want to become a general contractor, and I want to design and build houses and buildings. And he, at that stage, said to me, I was all of 20-odd years old, Bunny Business, he said, you can do it. And do you know, Barbara, he kick-started my life and career as a international general contractor and designer, and today my work is all over the world. It's because that particular man, our boss and friend and an amazing visionary, said to me, you can do it. And he said that to so many girls. And even today, look at you and I, how we're friends all these years later. Although I left you after Playboy, but you know what's so wonderful about it? That although girls didn't work together, I didn't work with you at the Playboy Club, didn't know you at that stage, all you have to do is say, oh, I worked at Playboy, or I was a Playmate, or I was a bunny, I was associated with Playboy. And in a split second, it's like this amazing family connection happens. And it doesn't and it doesn't matter whether they're people from Chicago or New York or Florida. It's like your girlfriends forever or friends forever. And that's all because of you have now. Yeah,
and you were going up to the Playboy Mansion up until the day he passed away, really, with, you designed that beautiful satin, what was that made of, silk chair for him? The big bunny ears, it was gorgeous.
It was gorgeous. Your listeners may not know, but because they don't know of me, but if they just look my name up on Google, it does show a lot about what I've done. And one of the things that I've done throughout my entire career is I've always made custom furniture. And one year, a few years back, I had another vision, and I thought, I need to make a signature chair for Playboy. So I designed this chair. It was total height was, I think, close to 6 feet to the top of the bunny ears. And Barbara, you'll remember, it was 2 black satin bunny ears that sat on the seat part. So it was a seat. And then these 2 big black ears came up, and with a tapered lower part of the seat, and it was laced. It was done in leather, black leather, around the base. And I laced it like our costumes were on the sides of our costumes. And then I embroidered it, and it said, thanks for the memories. Thanks for the memories, Hef. Love, Bunny Business. And my 2 sons, who were actually, I met their dad at Playboy. He was a very established jazz pianist, Tony Costa, incredible pianist. My 2 sons wrapped it up, and we hired a truck, and we took it up to Hefner, and he was just stoked. He just loved it. And it sat there in the Playboy Mansion for many years. For at least, I'd say 10 years, Barbara, it was there. So, yes, I used to go up there. He was such a great guy. He helped us all, Barbara.
Oh, he really did. But there's certain people, like the great Playboy bunnies, that stand out. And you were the cream of the crop. Tell us what bunny club you worked at. We'll get into all of your design, the Sandra Costa design group, and everything that you do as well with that. But, people just love to hear about the bunny clubs, don't they, Johnny?
Yes.
Well, I arrived in the United States when I was 17. And I came to LA and made my way up to San Francisco, and then went to New York, and actually ended up buying a car and driving with this girlfriend that I had met down to Florida. And I had no idea what the Playboy Club was. I had no idea what Playboy bunnies were. But I met this really cute guy, and who ended up being my boyfriend, and I married him, actually. And he said, you would make a fabulous bunny. And I said, what the heck is a bunny? So he takes me up to the Florida on Biscayne Boulevard, Barbara. This is like the first club down there in Miami, and it was all done like out of the, the mid-century modern look. And here I see these girls running around in bathing suits with white fluffy tails and 4-inch heels and bunny ears, and I'm standing there with my boyfriend who's bringing me in there to meet the bunny mother, but then they said to him, that's right, you can wait for her. So I have to make my way up to the bunny mother's office, and I really didn't even know what I was going there for. But the girls, Barbara, they were so lovely. It was like, we'll see you soon, and you'll look fabulous in a costume, and get an orange costume, or get the psychedelic one. And I'm going, what the heck? So within
nice.
within an hour, there I am. I'm getting fitted for a costume, and I've got some of the girls' high heel shoes on, and a pair of bunny ears and cufflinks. And I look in the mirror, and I went, I love this. This is fabulous.
So
I
fabulous.
just love this. And I didn't know what the job was. I had no idea.
So fast.
I know it happened so fast. But within 6 months, Barbara, I became the number one girl out of 19 clubs. I actually trained. I was a training bunny. I used to train all the other girls how to do something called the bunny dip. And I'm sure you've probably talked about that before. It's like the way that the girls would serve their drinks. I was never a playmate like you, although Mario did shoot me, and I was supposed to be a playmate. And then I don't know what happened. I pulled away, and I think mainly it was because New Zealand was so provincial, and I was a bit concerned back then, Barbara, about what my mother would say.
Yes.
You knew my mother, Zoe. She would have loved it, but I didn't, and I kind of regret it. I regret it, but that's right.
Yes, it just wasn't the right time. Sometimes that's what it is about. But you had great memories, like you were thanking Hef for, and you then thrived so much with your design group, the Sandra Costa design group, and were reveled around the world, being knight or damed. I was at one of your events.
You were.
It was the Imperial and Charitable.
No, the Order of Constantine the Great and St. Helen. That's right. Order of Constantine the Great and St. Helen. That that was quite a fabulous evening. Of course, you were the Belle of the Ball. I'd like to say I was probably one too, but you always take center stage, and you're such a beautiful woman. I love being your friend and having you do this show. It's great. I will tell you what Playboy did for me, Barbara, if you want to talk about Sandra Costa Design Group. Sure. Working at Playboy gave me a structure, because there was nothing by chance at Playboy. The amount of training that the girls, and as I said, I was a training bunny. I had to learn everything and teach all the girls how to do this, and then I fly around different clubs and train girls. But there was a system that Hefner had developed. It was a whole, from the moment the girls walked in the club to the way that they had to react and act out of the club. It was all very well behaved. So regardless, Barbara, of what some of these bunnies and playmates had got together, 6 or 7 of them, that got together with that disgusting show, where they absolutely just, ripped Playboy apart. Now that Hefner is dead, where were you girls? You weren't, they were too afraid to say something when it's live, because most of it was not true. That we had the most incredible training. It set the girls up for life on how to go into business, how to become good mothers, how to become good businesswomen, and that's all because of Hefner's years of experience that he then took and put it into training to show girls, just young girls coming in, how they could succeed. And that's where That's right. And that's where my training, Bob, to be able to handle the kind of business that I do internationally with a design group and a construction group, Barbara, it all comes from thinking back, having a training manual in my hand, the Playboy training manual that told you in there, don't say, can I get you something to drink? Never said that. He said to us, all you have to do is say, is everything all right? It was so much classier. We were never hustling drinks or anything else. It's just like some emphasis had been made. Never. And I'm friends with hundreds of buddies and playmates that all had incredible experiences through working at Playboy and have gone on to have successful careers. So, so that training experience, Bob said, it's all up. For me, it did, actually.
I agree.
Tremendous. Yes.
Oh,
yes,
we
yes.
have heard the same thing from so many wonderful ladies, and they are so proud. There was a few rotten apples afterwards, but you have to realize they didn't really get what they wanted, and they were scorned. And, scorned women are very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, that's right. And
so we don't pay any attention to them.
But the real girls, the girls like you and myself and so many girls that you've interviewed and so many supporting staff members, we all know. And as you said, there's a bad eggs, but as any big conglomerate, whether it was the airline hostesses or even people who work for Kmart, there's always going to be something going on. I mean, there always is. But
there always is.
Everybody's
getting along still. Oh, yes, Johnny. Go ahead.
What, Johnny?
The last time you were here, you brought up this story, and I would really love to hear you bring it up again. You said you had a run-in with Sacha Baron Cohen. Is that true?
I didn't have a run-in. I was spoofed by him. I had a like, if you live in LA, I mean, if you're an actress, you can have an agent. Well, interior designers also have agents and managers. And my agent called me up and had told me that there was a very wealthy prince, German prince, who was in town, and he had rented a house in Bel Air, and his father wanted to interview several designers, and whoever it was that he liked, they'd hire that designer to design and remodel the house. So I went up to this Bel Air house, and I had no idea who this fellow was. I didn't know actually until I was driving down the hill. I called one of my sons, and I said, I was just at a house, and I was there for 5 hours. I was supposed to be there for 1 hour. I was there for 5 hours, and it was this guy, and he had like this little bob haircut, and he had no top on, but he had a box wrapped around his neck, and he had a G-string on with a pair of leather pants on, but you could see his G-string. And my son said, what was it about? I said, well, they brought me up there to talk about decorating the house, but he was trying to throw me off. Every time I'd answer him, he'd come up with something so outrageous. I said, but I'm not the kind of personality you can be thrown off. So I was funnier than he was. And the staff, there was a full production crew, Barbara, because they had said that, and Johnny, they had said that the father wanted to film the designer. Was that all right? And I said, yeah, that's all right. So when I got there, at the gate, there was this staff waiting, and I had to sign this document. What I didn't know, it was a release. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
They hand me a payment of like $5,000, okay, for the hour. All right, that's good. That's fine. I'm going to tell them what to do with this house. When I walk in the front door, there is a full-blown production company inside the living room. And I'm thinking to myself, this is really a tremendous expense this dad is going through just to film me to see if I'm suited to decorate his son's house. And the more I spoke to Sandra Cohen, the more the production crew laughed, because some of the things that I said were too funny. And Sasha Cohen and his assistant were speaking in a made-up accent.
Oh, yeah. Like, where were they supposed to be from? That guy is so funny.
Yeah, they were supposed to be from...
spoofed. This is so great.
I was spoofed. And I am standing there shaking my head and going, of course. Yes, of course. As if I understand the whole language. And they're looking at me going, oh, my God, this woman must be crazy. Because I'm truly, like, involved in the accent of how they're talking. And I'm answering them. But they're not even talking a real accent.
Oh, I wish I could see that.
Oh, yeah. And it was just, that's some of the things, Johnny, I can't repeat it again, because last time I repeated it, I got hate mail.
Oh, you're kidding.
I did, because there was something that I said that this gentleman contacted me and said, you can't say things like that. And anyway, he ended up becoming a really good friend of mine. When I explained to him, it was all just very fast, and there was nothing intentional that I said to hurt anybody. But some of it, like you've seen his shows, how he
Yes.
really pushes the button.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
I've seen his movies.
People have
I've been
compared him
theater.
to people have compared
You
him
know,
to Andy Kaufman. People have compared
yeah.
him to
I
Andy.
mean, and if I, when I write my own book of life and I put in there, and I can certainly tell you everything that happened off air, you will laugh and laugh, but I don't really want to go there on air because some of it is just a little crazy, and it does involve it involves different nationalities, and it involves Princess Diana, and it was just like he was doing everything for me to like quit or leave or start crying. It was really insane, but
Wow.
not as funny telling it today as it was a few years ago, Johnny, when I told it, because I told the truth. I think I told you what were some of the things that were being said. I don't remember. Do you remember?
Do you think that he's kind of similar to Andy Kaufman?
Oh, he's more. He's more. Actually, he's a brilliant comic. He really is. I mean, he's really funny. And
He really is. People
yes, and I
they
had
don't know they're spoofed. I went to that movie with a girlfriend,
I know.
and she came out. She still didn't realize that he was doing spoofs on people. I'm like, how do you not know that? At the end of this, it was crazy.
I
He
didn't
had
know,
me fooled
but it is on
people so
YouTube.
much.
Did I tell you that?
No,
It
but we
is
have it.
edited. Oh, you have it?
Oh, we have all of our shows, right, Johnny? All of our
No,
shows are
it's not that.
archived.
Yeah.
The actual filming. They put a minute or two of it up on YouTube.
Oh,
It is
okay.
up.
We'll
It is
try
up.
to search.
So yeah, you can kind of search around for it, but it's kind of funny. It was much funnier, the whole thing. But anyway, but there's so much more to talk about. So ask me something else because
Okay.
that was just one short thing,
I am burning to know this. Well, gosh, no pun intended. About the LA fires. You're one of the biggest builder, architectural designers and interior designers, knowing so many people in the Los Angeles area. So, what's going on with that? You must have a lot of friends who have lost houses. Will this affect your future? Will you be helping people rebuild? And if so, how do you rebuild? Do you use different products? And tell us about what's going on with that.
It was shocking and really shocking. And I've got. Yes, several clients of mine, multi-million-dollar homes one of them I just finished 2 years ago, burned down. It was so worrisome that nobody knew what to do. I mean, it was like a bomb had gone off in Malibu, no more than 25 minutes from where I live. I mean, it was, and because we couldn't drive out there, so I'm watching this on television, just like the world is, and I can't believe this is 25 minutes from where I live. And it is burnt down from the Santa Monica Pier all the way up, and then all the way up into the hills. It is so horrendous. It is terrible. But I have had some calls because people are getting their insurance money, and because my company, first of all, we can deal with the insurance company. I've got some really top-notch specialists that work at our firm, and we deal with the insurance company. We can do the estimation on the fire. We have the equipment to come in and either to clean out, or if it's a home that's got smoke damage, we've got all the equipment to do fire and water damage. So we're very busy doing that right now. And then from there, we can do all the plans, deal with the permitting, deal with the insurance companies, design a new house, put it up in record time. And of course, I've always designed in eco-friendly materials and sustainable materials, so nothing changes there, except I'm adding even more fireproof materials, both inside and out. And if my group can make a dent, if we can make a big dent, great. If we can make a little dent, we're there to help. It's pretty nerve-wracking. And nobody really knows what's going to happen in Malibu, whether they're going to put up condominiums or whether it's going to turn into parks. Only time will tell, Barbara.
Well, you're always there to help. It seems like whatever's happening in the world, you get some kind of company involved, created, like during COVID. And the big, huge company, do you still have that going on where you go and spray down?
We would need to jump to that really fast. Yeah. That's what it was. We when COVID hit, it interfered with so many designers and contractors were just stopped. I mean, their businesses came to a halt. So my business partner and myself, we quickly started to import these. They were backpacks, but they were spraying disinfectant, and so we were actually giving them and gifting them to many contractors, almost like an architectural. Agriculture, when you go out to a farm and you see them spraying for all the bugs. This is very much like what these backpacks were. So we were importing them and then giving them out. I was giving them to contractors and designers so that they could spray down their houses and anywhere that they were working. And it did help a lot of people. It really did. And so that was one thing that we were doing to help. And I always try and do my best. Why not? If you can,
well, why not?
you do. That's right.
But you have such a flair for the glamorous side, and you love that, and so do I. And I saw that you were involved in a very recent event that had royalty there as well. And you're always rubbing elbows with royalty. It was Prince Harry and his wife, right? Weren't you? How did that go, or was that a big deal?
Well, do you know, that is a confidential, when it comes to certain clients of mine, even on my portfolio, if you look at Barbara, you've seen my work, Johnny, you've seen my work, the rooms are so different, the houses, everything is unique. It's not like anybody else's work, not just black and white and a splash of colour. Everything is very organic and colourful. And however, as much beautiful houses that I show through the social media, I've got homes and clients that I don't speak about. Almost like the Sasha Cohen thing, but in a different area now. Because security, Barbara, is I've got to be very careful. Especially because I'm working inside people's homes with their children, with their treasures, with their secrets. I'm exposed to a lot. So I don't speak openly, and nor do I photograph or post all my clients. And I'm quite all right about that because I know what I do and I know the clients that I work for. So I keep working for these high profile and designing because they love my work, but they also know that I have their back. I'm not going to capitalize or build my career on theirs. But
so I really trust you, and that's so important. I'm glad you did state that.
I have a son, Angelo, who was actually his dad was Tony Costa that I mentioned from the Playboy Club, jazz musician and director. He has his own security company of armed guards. So when I'm doing these jobs, Barbara, and I do a big remodel, I'm working on a $65 million house right now, I use his guards, and I have armed guards posted on construction sites and also on the houses because not only could equipment go missing, but you don't know who is watching that property, and somebody could come in and get a layout of the interior, and all of a sudden, something that is supposed to be very exclusive and private, all of a sudden the whole layout of a 40,000 square foot house is known because you weren't careful enough. You just left at night. Yes, you locked the gates. Yes, you put deadbolts on. Somebody jumped the fence. So we have our own guards. Yeah, we have our own guards.
Think about. Okay, that's wonderful. And I just typed in sandracosta.com, and everybody, that will lead you to these beautiful photos. I just love your use of color and just inviting. These homes are multi-million-dollar homes. I'm sure you do have to pass up a lot of people who want to hire you to create their dream home. Basically, there's theaters. These kitchens are amazing, but the textures too.
Yeah.
And if Angelo shot these properly,
yes, he did.
Your son,
he photographed my entire. I mean, he's traveled and he's done. Yeah, you know what he does with his eye. Having a musical background, he's an incredible musician, Angelo. He's a producer, musician. He has got an eye. They call it an eye, or you call it an ear for music. But he brings my projects to life. Wow. He takes them. Yeah, what he does when he captures a room, they're coffee table books. They turn into works of art. I mean, each room is a work of art, and then the way he photographs it, which you're looking at right now, that becomes a work of art. So I'm very pleased with his work that he does, his talent, and combined with my talent, it really is quite extraordinary the way that it all kind of falls into place. And And so, I do what I love, Barbara, so I never feel like I'm working.
And you
Yeah.
involve these beloved, wonderful, talented, grown children of yours.
Yeah,
Not
we're
to
family
mention
members.
Adriano, and then you have on
Well, Chef
your
Adriana, yeah.
yes, and on your website, I see then you have affiliate groups, and then I started looking at one of them called a Sharp Chef, and what I could get
A
there,
Sharp Chef,
I could a Sharp Chef. I could hire Adriano Costa, another one of your talented sons. But wow, the food, and then Angelo, your other son, the two brothers, I mean, they're working together so well. I love how you have such a tight, close-knit family, and I'm sure he's taking the photos for the food, which are amazing. And it's just seeing you guys grow all these years, just knowing you, and just you keep going up and up and up and getting more successful. All of you, your entire family. But you're the root. Sandra, you are the root.
Well, you've taken over, though. I'm not just the root. I'm a creative energy.
It's a tree, and there's a lot of branches.
Yeah, that's right, with the branches. And that's the thing that you can do is, as an adult person and a mother and a grandmother, the best thing that I can do is to install into my family that there is never the word try. There's either you do or you don't. I never let anybody ever use the word, oh, I'm trying to do it. That sort of thing. You're not. Because
no,
you're not
you wanted to do
either try, But
you wanted to do a reality show, remember? And so you did one. And it was successful.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, you produced, and that was a cute idea, and you came up with it, and you got it together, and that was more royalty. That was cool. So, yeah, you definitely don't say you can't. That's not in your vocabulary.
No, but now bring it all around that my two sons, Adriano and Angelo Costa, are here because I met and married Tony Costa from Playboy.
Yes.
Because he was the musical director, and I fell in love with him at Playboy. So they are so, they love Playboy. I mean, Chef Adriano, he goes out and he goes to these thrift shops looking for Playboy memorabilia. And he'll always be walking and saying, look at this I got, and look at that I got. And, a cigar case that you never even knew that Playboy had, these cigar cases.
I have one. It's rare, though, because our psychic Delshire, she sent it to me because they had a cigar shop and they carried Hugh M.H. cigars. So, but it's rare. That's cool that I found another person who has one. I have two of them, and I'm going to keep them, but I bet they're worth a lot. But it is so cool, and my kids do. Priscilla's going to be 18, but, for 2 years ago, the first day of school, she wore a Playboy T-shirt. Like, she was so proud of it.
Hey, look at that. Yeah, Playboy. And it pulls us all together, And I always tell all my clients, too, whether they're, what's interesting about I work in China, Brazil, Israel, I'm all over the world, but everybody knows Playboy. And quite often I'll be asked to do a talk show just like what we're doing right now. But I'm on your talk show because you are Playboy, and this is a Playboy and Playmate influenced project that you've got going on where you're interviewing all these wonderful people involved with Playboy. I'll go on a show that has nothing to do with Playboy, that is about architecture, that is about design, and they will ask me for about 3 minutes about architecture and design, and then they'll say, okay, so will you tell us what it was like to work at Playboy?
I know.
Yeah, so,
Big brand. I know. One of the top, maybe top two. Not sure, but yes, Hugh Hefner built a dynasty, and you can always make money with that too. Like you could sell that wonderful photo of yourself in the Playboy bunny costume, which we did put on your other show that you did with us, talking a lot about being the bunny, the fabulous bunny. You were the one who made the money. You weren't pushing it, but you just did because you are a magnet. People are drawn to you. I went on a couple of business meetings with you just to see what
you did.
You're like.
I know.
Yes. And I have made friends from those. That one meeting, it was 8 hours long. I was laughing. I was making somebody laugh. And that gentleman, he became one of my best friends now for 11 years. We've been friends because of you.
Isn't that wonderful?
And you met my brother.
No. If you didn't look like you, and if you didn't have the beautiful personality that you've got, and you are very, Barbara, you're a magnet yourself too, because believe me, they're friends with you because of you. You're a fabulous person as well. Thank you for all the compliments to me, but this is the Mutual Admiration Club tonight. Johnny.
Well, thank you. Well, also, I did notice that, though, since doing this show with Johnny, just asking these playmates if they'd like to come on the show. I mean, it's just, you don't have to twist an arm. And then just when I refer for various things, they always take it so seriously and get back to me. You're so polite. Like you were talking about how you were greeted at the first time going into the Playboy Club. There's something about this morale that we're polite to each other. We trust each other. There's the sisterhood.
It's true.
And it's just very rare. I'm so proud to be a part of it, and it's wonderful. But it was Father's Day. I had a Beverly Hills wonderful townhouse in Beverly Hills,
Gorgeous.
and you were out. You ran into my brother.
Yeah,
and,
gorgeous boy.
And it was Father's Day, and I had made this beautiful salmon dinner. My dad had come over, and I said, "Come on over, bring your new friend over." And that's when I met you, and you were the coolest chick. You were just awesome, and you were a magnet. We all loved you, and
Thank you, honey.
I don't know, we've been close ever since, and it's wonderful. I'm looking through your pictures, and I remember I was at the cathedral with you, so you redid that, and I was there with the beautiful room that was on display, which maybe it still is specially displayed with Leonardo DiCaprio.
That was beautiful, yeah.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Okay. So
That's
you have
beautiful.
some very special
There's
photos
so
here.
many, there's so many. I'm working on an incredible project right now, Barbara. Don't know if I have told you and Johnny about it, but it is it's down in Florida, and it is 198 acres, and we've got 100 acres on reserve, so that'll be 298 acres. The land is already owned outright. I am a partner in this project. It's for 3,000 high-end residences, Barbara. They'll go from 2 million up to 35 million. There are 400 wet slips for boats up to 400 feet, 100 restaurants and stores. Nothing is over 3 stories, and it is a total wellness city. When you've got a place this big, this is not a spa. This is not just a resort. This is a wellness city. And I've got this company called Mangrove, and who they are is their established company, and they do from plant to plate. So we've given them 50 acres out of our 198 acres, and on that, actually I think that they're going to have two areas, 150 and 142. They're going to have a hotel, and then they'll grow all their produce on the other 50 acres. And in their section of the 50 acres, there'll be no telephones and no technology, nothing. So when you go there, Barbara, this is a whole culture shock. This is going back like it was, where people want to come in and they want to get well and they want to eat and they want to have organic, and it's incredible. That's one portion.
I love it.
And then another portion is we've got 10G underneath the ground. I mean, it's the technology that's already gone in. This will be the number one technology-driven city in the world. Yeah,
wow.
That's already in. I'm creating an area like Art Basel. I've got a friend who he's 85, and he had licensed Salvador Dali, one of his sculptors. So I said to him, "Will I be able to license it from you?" He said yes. So we are building a whole area like an artist retreat, where you've got streets of like beatnik style restaurants and jazz playing, and then there'll be art stores with lots of art, and right in the center it will be called the Salvador Dali Court, and I'm going to take that statue and we're going to make it like 25 feet high, right in the middle of this court. Oh yeah, this is the kind of stuff I'm working on. Yep.
I have his coffee table book. That is so cool. What a cool idea.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and then the photos people can take going down these wonderful streets. And,
this is a wellness
city.
A wellness city. I've been on it for about 5 years. We're already moving forward. Probably another 5 years. And then we're gonna have beautiful boats and just so many things that we're gonna have in the city. No golf.
No golf? What
no
about?
Golf. No.
Probably a lot of yoga. Probably a lot of that kind of...
No. Listen, it's so big. If I want to do a golf course, I could. But we're not doing golf. And we're not doing... we have an airport that is 20 minutes drive. It's a major airport, 20-minute drive. We're not doing golf there because there is a golf course not more than 15 minutes away. So it's kind of taking land away from what our main purpose is, and it's all about health. And we're doing 100,000 square foot wellness facility, Barbara.
That sounds
Yoga,
amazing.
you name it. Meditation, almost like that place that's down there on like Sunset Boulevard as you're going down to the ocean.
Yes. I believe, yes, I used to go there. It was where I got the massages and the baths that you run
That's
for
right,
you.
exactly.
Minerals.
I got 100,000 square foot facility like that going in. That will
that's
be
amazing.
led by the top gurus in the world. So
This is in Florida.
This is in Florida. It's called the Emerald Coast area. The project is called the Marina Island. And then you can actually see
Let me see something.
He's in Florida. He knows the Emerald Coast. It is called the area, Johnny.
Emerald Coast is the coast. It's in between. I believe it's Pensacola is one.
Yeah, I live in Destin, Florida. I think that is the Emerald Coast.
Oh,
cool!
Yeah.
I could visit you both in about 5 years. I want to see it.
Yeah,
it visit Johnny at the same time.
I'll look you up right now.
We'll have Baba. We'll have the homes up before 5 years.
Okay, great.
Definitely, you'll come down for one of those for sure. I'm going to have a beautiful penthouse down there, and you'll come down for sure. We'll have Johnny. You're welcome too. But you can see this. It's on my. Have you heard of the platform House? HOUZZ.
No.
All right. House is the largest platform for interior design work in the world. I happen to be a favorite designer on there. If you go House, you put / you put Sandra Costa, my website, and my work will come up. I think I've got about 57 projects up. It shows all my architectural drawings, shows befores and afters, and then you will see the Marina Island. And there's about 50, I don't know how many pages. The actual presentation got 51 pages. I might have 10 pages, got 15 pages, but it shows you what it is. It's drop dead gorgeous. You should look at that sometime.
Okay, I'm pulling it up right now. Yes, I'm going to. Okay, so this is wonderful to know. Everybody can find you on House, the great platform for what you do, HOUZZ. And I did. I just put in HOUZZ, Sandra Costa, and boom, Sandra Costa is right there.
Does it say Marina Island? That should be 1 or 2 right up early. See if it's right there.
Okay, I am under projects now, and let's see, load 6 more projects. You've got a lot, yes, wow, you've got a lot of projects going on. This is amazing. You really do, and that's you, and you always have. And so this is one that you're really, really excited about. Wellness City, Marina Island, Emerald Coast, Florida, beautiful. I am totally impressed. And I knew about this before. Yep. It's so funny because the person I met through one of your meetings, he's like, look what Sandra's up to now. I mean, it was the whole spread of, and you had sent that to his friend who was like, a high roller and business guy or whatever. It got back to me. So, I mean, you're everywhere, Sandra.
Well, thank you.
You're amazing. But I just know you as my good girlfriend who is down to earth and loves me and is always there for me. And also,
I love you. Yeah, I do.
We're full of memories, but I know you as just a lot more than what we can even touch upon in 1 hour. I know.
Oh, Barbara, I remember when you and I, on your birthday, went up to Sunset Boulevard, and we went to that place where you got on the bull, and you rode the bull, and you stayed on. You stayed on. And it was throwing off the biggest guys. And here's Barbara, this gorgeous playmate up there, and there wasn't an eye that it wasn't on you. I'm telling you. I mean, just you and I've had some fun things.
I met that handsome policeman. Man.
Oh, you did? I know.
Yeah, he still tries to come around. But
well, leave him in the police force.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus.
You know what I wanted to add, Bob? I wanted to add that Chef Adriano, who you did interview, he's incredible. He's an incredible father and musician, and but he's got a great restaurant called Buns and Roses, not Buns and Roses, which is great. His food, if you look at Buns and Roses, LA, Barbara, the food and the names of his hamburgers are incredible. Oh, like he might have told you that he's got one called To Rib and Die For in LA, not To Live and Die For. Yeah, I know. Just crazy. But we're going to get, oh my God, Barbara, he is the best chocolate maker in the city. I'm telling you.
Know that.
So Oh, yes, his chocolate's incredible. So the main owners of Marina Island, they want him to have a fine dining restaurant because he's a fine dining chef. And then they want the hamburger joint, the Buns and Roses, and then they want a chocolate place. Oh, yeah, he's set for life with these guys, with what they want to do. And then they want to import Angelo down there. I mean, I'm taking the whole family. So, Johnny, are you ready to come down to Florida and do the show from Florida, you and Bob?
I'm ready. Hey,
In the
I'm
North
going to
Coast,
Florida.
yeah.
Are you kidding me? Don't leave me out. I just take a plane. It only takes a plane ticket. I'm down
great.
there. I'm just some chocolate.
You want to? Me and Barbara going to do a photo shoot, right, Barbara?
Yes. Do you know I have still not, working with Johnny for 6 years, almost every day,
Yeah.
I still have not met him face to face.
Unbelievable.
And
Where
we're
are you
growing.
both?
Yeah.
Barbara, well, you're in Huntington Beach. Where are you, Johnny?
What? I'm in
Where you
Destin,
located?
Florida.
Oh, that's right. I heard you say that. So you're in Florida. Oh, well, that gives us a reason to go, Barbara. Meet him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Emerald Coast. When I go down there and check on,
Yeah.
help with stirring some chocolate and checking out, the steam if you need somebody to test out your sauna. Anyway, I'll say hi to Johnny too, or come to your big gala. I love those openings. And I also have another friend from Nashville, my boyfriend from Nashville. I think he's a billionaire by now. Mac, I see him all the time. He has a home on the beach in Destin too, right there on the Emerald Coast, I guess it's called. So we'll have him come to the opening and, we'll enjoy the opening if you have one. I would love to.
Well, we're going to rush it on. I mean, we got 5 years yet before maybe three. But the whole city, but it will take about 6 or 7 years to build out the whole city the way it should be built out. There's already plans. In fact, before I had your call, I had another call, which was an incredible call from Sierra Leone, because they are being introduced to me over there, some very big landowners who are interested in doing a marina island over there in Sierra Leone as well. So, Barbara, through you have to telling me, Miss Business, you can do it. My interior design and construction business has brought me the most incredible relationships, both serious and funny, that is really amazing with what I've been able to experience, having left home at 17 and coming here alone. It's been, I love LA. I love LA. Just got to work right now. I don't know really what's going to happen. Who's going to be buying all that land? Are they going to rebuild? I mean, so many questions, Barbara.
So many questions.
And so many questions, Barbara. And the fact there was no water in the fire hydrants. What's that about?
But according to Trump, it's going to be the golden era, the golden age, and he is down there trying to figure out what's going on with the water. So at least somebody's hands-on person, and it sounds like it's going to be really good for business, especially something like a wellness city. And you're coming up with this. This is ingenuitive. This is new. This is great.
Well, what I think that's going to happen, Barbara, is that a lot of California people, residents, are going to end up going to Florida. That's why this property has to get built quickly, because there are going to be people who aren't going to build on the ocean again, and they're going to look for where can we go, and and everybody loves Florida. I mean, who doesn't love Florida? I mean, everybody loves it. And I'll tell you this, the city planners that we use to design this, they designed 2 other projects down there, and one is in Ali's Beach, and the other one is Rosemary Beach. There's the 2 developments, and they designed where they are hurricane-proof. So there was no damage in either one of these big projects from the hurricanes that Florida has experienced. So when people ask me about, am I concerned about that? Not in the least, because everything is built from concrete, and everything, the way it's all built, if the hurricane takes this out, believe me, it's going to take half of Florida out, because this is really built where there can be no damage. So I can only see people coming from distressed cities and wanting to move to Florida. I think it's going to happen. But there's going to be
is good. Because I know Johnny for 6 years, and they've had some storms, but nothing too horrible. He's right on the beach. He has a beach house, and so he's right there. So yes, it is a safe part of Florida, but that's good that you're taking all those precautions. And
yes, we are.
I'm glad you chose this Florida.
There's going to be different people. I don't know who. Nobody's got the answer. But we've got all this land now where there was nothing available to buy in Pacific Palisades or Malibu or Santa Monica. Now it's all leveled. Santa Monica's not still there, but now it's all leveled. So who's coming in and buying all that land? So that's a big question. It's a big question.
Yes, and because sometimes that soil, people don't like it, and it has a lot of
Yeah,
chemicals in it now, and it's
yeah,
not good to grow nice, beautiful trees, and it's not
yeah,
lush, and it was very lush. It's gone.
yeah.
It's ash.
It's
So,
wrong.
and do you want to sit there for 2, 3 years, being the first one to start rebuilding, but then
No,
you've
that's
had a
the
second,
problem.
third, and fourth, and then you're listening to that for, I don't know, 10 years of your life?
That's right. And those
The
stores
hammering?
around. And so you're
No.
building, you're putting up a new house that's worth $3-4 million, let's say. But some of those houses start with 40 and 50 million. But
Yeah.
so you're putting up a new house, and where do you have to drive? You have to drive an hour into town. And it's not like living out on a beautiful ranch now, where you don't mind driving an hour to town because you're going through all the beautiful trees. No, you're driving an hour that looks like it's a bomb hit it. It's going to be
Exactly.
very difficult, very
No, and
difficult for people.
if you live there, you've got a good amount of money that you're not going to be putting up with that kind of life. And I
Oh,
don't know what is going to be interesting. I haven't been up to LA since then. I'm down here in Huntington Beach. Everybody was worried about me because, from other states, they don't realize where are you exactly in California. But thank goodness I'm down here in HB. But I want to drive up. I want to come up there. I'm going to see Chef Adriano Costa for one of his
you have
amazing
to.
burgers.
Yes, you
Yes.
got to come to the little restaurant. You'll love it, Barbara.
Yeah.
You
I'm
got to
going to
come.
come
I'll
up
meet
there.
you there.
Okay, I'll meet you there for a burger,
I'll
and then
meet
I'm
you
going to
there.
do a Yelp review because I have a pretty good following on Yelp.
Oh,
I
that's
thought
good
you were
too.
on.
That's
You're on
good.
Yelp too. You're everywhere.
I am. Do you know,
Yeah.
I'm not good about this though. Everything that's up on social media about me has just come up organically because I've never hired any publicists and I've never paid anybody to know how to use anything. And, oh, you'll laugh at this. So they say you should have one Instagram and you should build that, maybe two. Well, when Instagram started, I had no idea, but I had one design assistant make me one, and then another design assistant made me one, and then I made one, and then I made another one. Before you know it, I've got 6 Instagram accounts, and everybody's going, we don't know which one to answer to, which one you
I
should be
know.
sending out from. And so I just give up sometimes, and I go,
I
all right,
agree.
well, yeah, it all gets a little too much, And I mean, it's the way of the world, though, Barbara. We got to
It
keep up with
really
it.
is. But wherever I've
But,
linked onto you today, checking
yeah.
out some things, everything worked smoothly. So you are a charmed person, I
Oh.
believe. Because most people they go crazy with this, but everything worked, So it's so good. It's wonderful to hear your voice, but it's going to be
Thank you,
more
darling.
wonderful seeing you in person. And yes, on a
Yay!
more personal note, everybody, yes, I am so lucky. Sandra Costa. People fight over this position. She's the godmother to my daughter, who is going to be 18 soon. Can you believe
Oh
it?
my God. What a little girl she was too, and she's a beautiful 18-year-old. She's coming out of her teens. Bobby, you did such a wonderful job with her, raising her the way you have, and she's a lovely girl. She loves you so much. And, she loves God, and she's just a great girl. And you too, Bobby. You just between the two of you, you're just really terrific people. I'm really pleased that we met each other. How many years ago?
Thank you. That was 2000. It could have been 2003, 2004. I lived at that place from 2003 to 2006, around there. So sometime around there,
God, that was a beautiful apartment you had, Barbara.
Yes.
Oh my God, the way you decorated. I still remember, I mean, this is where you don't need me. You did such a fabulous job. I remember the sofas in the living room were gorgeous. And I remember having dinner that night with your dad. And yeah, look, all these years later, and now we're friends with Johnny. Hi, Johnny. I'm talking to Barbara mostly, but I know you're there.
I'm here.
Yes, and then I moved to Las Vegas, and I came back, and then you helped me decorate that. You got me this huge slab of glass and this big, beautiful dining table to match my gold custom chairs. You were helping me design. You did all of my curtains.
Oh,
yes.
God, I don't remember. I remember the glass.
Yes,
and
then I moved away. I got married, and then luckily, you know what? My husband was very, very well trained because his mother was an interior designer. He had all the modern look. He shopped only on Melrose. We lived in Vegas. But I don't think you never got to see that home. I went completely modern. I love design, but it's a lot of work, isn't it? How do you keep up your energy to keep on going?
Well, it's so embedded. Here's my focus and my forte. It's called details. It's in the details. There's a lot of good designers around. There's a lot of good everybody. There's a lot of good hairdressers. There's a lot of good nail people. But then it comes down to what makes somebody stand out. For me personally, it's about the detail. It's in the detail of the way I work. And it's in the detail, Barbara, look at the way I dress too. With my hats and my fabulous clothes. I've got an incredible, either vintage clothes or new clothes or futuristic clothes. Love clothes, but it's all about the detail. And of course, having I'm able to, I've got a photographic memory. So I can walk into a room and I do not need to measure it. House, I can furnish, and I've done this overseas. I can furnish an entire house and not take measurements,
Oh, that's cool.
and everything fits. Everything.
Wow. It's just perfect.
Yeah.
You just have
It's
that
because
just in
I
you.
zoom in. Something about when I look at something, I can, like I'm here right now, I'm looking at a window in my house right now, and I don't have any draperies on that window. There's a really sharp-looking blind on it. But if I wanted to do a drapery right now, I wouldn't have to measure that window. Now, I'm not saying that's the way to do it for up-and-coming new designers coming in. I think education is very important for
Yes.
everybody, including interior designers. You know, you have to know some of the root of what makes good design, and it's very much like writing music. And somebody asked me, Barbara, what is different about your work? I say, it's the music in my work. And then they'll ask me, what does that mean? It's because I have rhythm, and I have rhyme, and I have harmony. And it's like a song. And Barbara, you're a dancer. You know that if the music is out of sync or out of beat, because not everybody might understand what the word sync means, but in music, but if it's off, it's like you can't dance to it. You don't want to listen to it. Same with designing a house or a building. My eye and my balance, I'm a Libra, which means I'm the scales. Everything has to be fair, but everything should be balanced. Not matching, but balanced. It's the proportions of the room. It is the music that you gain so that the room has personality. When you're looking at it, it feels different. It feels like it's talking to you. So when you ask me, how do I manage it all? It's because, as I said earlier, I don't feel like I'm working.
Oh, it just saves time, too. If you don't have to do all those little things.
No, it's just who I am.
It flows.
It's just who I am.
Okay, and let me ask you, though, would you go as far as saying that do you study Feng Shui? Because it sounds like the flow, the Feng Shui. Feng Shui, I studied it. My girlfriend bought me a course on it this whole last year. I studied it. Yeah, I did. She wanted me to study it because I was having a hard time with flow. And, sometimes when you're in a small space, it's very important. You can't be clogged. Right when you walk in, they say something like have a trickle of water and a mountain. There's certain things that are like that wall should be family photos. How far do you take it with the Feng Shui, if at all?
All right. Okay. So one time I was booked to do a radio show like you, and my agent didn't tell me that they were going to specialize in the topic. I thought it was just going to be about construction and design. It was a feng shui radio show, and they were going to interview me because they were told that I was a feng shui specialist in interior design. Well, Barbara, I've never studied feng shui in my life.
Had you ever even heard of it?
But I have natural. I've been told by feng shui masters that my work is naturally following feng shui. But Barbara, I had to talk for an hour, and I had no idea. He's asking me questions. He said, all right, so Sandra, and 5 minutes before the show, I said to the interviewer, I said, listen, I don't want to kind of, mess the show up, but I don't know this thing about feng shui. He said, what? He said, we got a show for an hour today. I said, well, you could get somebody else. He said, we got 5 minutes. So he was fabulous. He would do things like this. He would go, all right, Sandra. So is it true that when you walk into a room, if you place a table in the middle of the room of the entry, when there's a window at the far end, it breaks the flow from the money coming in the front door and going out the back? Me. Of course that's true. He just gave me the question and the answer.
Like the hinting throughout the whole thing.
I know. He gave me the whole thing. Yeah, and then I turned it into some comedy because I knew it was ridiculous. But I have natural feng shui in the rooms. You can look at them. It's like, it's like. And so, how far do I take it? I don't take it. I don't know. I've got the balance. That's the Libra in me. I've got the balance already. Yeah, I've got the balance.
Off, because I know a Libra, which is my dad, and if something's off, like the shower curtain isn't just set just perfectly, he will be set wrong. It matters. And so you have this natural ability, I believe, and plus a lot of it is common sense. Okay, do you want to have your bed, like somebody walk into your room and you can't see them because it's like behind you, as you know what I mean? That's common sense. Yeah. Where do you want to be the queen? You want to lay there, you're on your throne. Okay, so I love it. Well, thank you for spending this hour with
my
us.
pleasure, honey.
My pleasure. Yes.
Oh, Johnny, and it's so nice to talk to you again. It's been a few years. Although Barbara and I are catching up, I haven't seen her for, what is it, Barbara, a year? Or when did I see
Yes,
you last?
you did come over here. When I had my piles, I had piles of clothes everywhere. I think that's why my friend, she came over for Christmas, and she's like, "I'm going to buy you this feng shui course."
Oh,
And
no, you
really,
know what you had? You had just bought yourself that beautiful Jaguar, is it, or BMW?
yes, Jaguar.
Oh, my
Yes,
God.
yeah,
Jaguar. Have you still got that car?
yes, I do, and I'm enjoying it every day. I love it, and I even
Oh,
tell it. So I love you, and
oh,
Priscilla
you look
loves
so
it too.
beautiful in that car. Yeah. Tell
Thank you so
Priscilla
much.
that I send my love,
I
and to you
will
too, darling, and we will get together this year for
at
sure.
Buns and
And
Roses soon
yeah,
in a
at Buns
week.
and Roses. Anybody who's in the LA area, that's at 8600 Pico Boulevard. Just check DoorDash for the times that it's open, and just go and have a hamburger. And
And
Bob, I'll
then,
see you there too.
yeah, and everybody be looking
Yeah.
for that show. It's coming in a few days with Chef Adriano Costa.
Oh, yeah, I want to hear that as well. That's
Our
great.
lovely
All
guest
right.
today, Sandra Costa, Lady
Thank
Sandra
you, love.
Costa. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Everybody head over to House,
Ciao, ciao,
Houzz.
everybody. Yeah,
And ciao, Sandra Costa.
H-O-U-Z-Z.
We love you.
Thank you,
Talk to you
guys. All
soon.
right. Do
Take
your
care.
very best. That's the best that any of us can hope for.
And that's great advice. Thank you so much.
Right? All right.
Have a
Love
great
you
night,
all. Bye.
everybody. Thanks for
Good night,
listening.
darling.
Good night,
Good night.
everyone. Okay. Did you want to do
Hey,
the shout out
Johnny, did
moment?
you record it?
Yes,
No,
I did.
that wasn't.
I
It's
still, it's still
over.
recording. But did you
Okay,
do the
we're
shout out
ended.
yet?
Yes, we're done.
Okay.
The show ended already.